It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Welcome to the Eagle Community TV Forum. I'm Becky Kaiser, subbing for Gary Shorman, and our show today, of course, is brought to us by Hayes Medical Center and Eagle Communications. We're very excited today to get to talk to a couple of female wrestlers from Trigo Community High School in Waukene. Joining me in our first segment is Jessika Chapman. Jessika is a freshman, as is Sydney Boyle. We'll talk to her after the break. Jessika, first of all, let's start with you. Talk about wrestling for the Eagles, and you're a girl. There aren't a whole lot of young women doing this. Why'd you decide to do it?
Actually, in 7th grade, we had this teacher named Mr. Schmeidler. He's retired now, but he would go up to everyone and be like, "Are you going to join wrestling? Are you going to join it?" And he would ask every single girl too. And so I actually decided to try out for wrestling.
And what was that like?
It was weird. I had no idea what was going on.
Did you know anything about wrestling before you did the tryout?
I did not at all.
So how did you do on that very first tryout?
My coach, Doug Millay, he helped me a lot.
So obviously you continued practicing and improving, then you move up to the high school level, and now you're on varsity. So tell us about that. What is that like? Obviously, as we know, as probably most people know, the girls' high school level is not sanctioned at this point in the state of Kansas, so there aren't a whole lot of young women out there even doing this. You're wrestling against the guys. What's that like?
It kind of gets hard at sometimes, but it's not like impossible to beat a guy.
Now
So-
you and Sydney don't wrestle each other because if you know about wrestling, of course, you're
Different weights.
different weights, different classifications of weights, and you're not in the same weight classification, so you are wrestling against some of the guys. You have longer hair, probably most of the guys don't. Does that get in your way?
It gets in my way all the time.
Does it?
We have to stop so I can fix it up, and it makes me mad.
But no hair pulling in wrestling, I bet.
Nope.
No, none at all. Tell me about what your family thinks about this. This is pretty unusual for a young person to be doing, a young woman.
I told my mom, "Hey, I'm gonna do wrestling." She's like, "Okay, are you gonna do football too?" I'm like, "No." So she was okay with it.
She is. Are you worried about injuries at any time?
No, actually, but I did have cauliflower ear.
Ah, and tell us what that is.
It's kind of like where you like pop something in your ear and it fills up with blood and it hurts a lot.
That sounds painful. How is it now?
I went to a plastic surgeon and they said that it healed on its own.
Oh, well,
So,
that's good.
It's gone.
Good to deal. So how, this is it right there?
Yeah.
Okay, looking
It's-
good. So how often do you practice?
Monday through Friday.
And this is after school, and it's practice with the guys, regular time in the gym.
Yeah.
And how often do you actually then wrestle and engage in that in
We
matches?
wrestle. We live wrestle a lot. Like every single day we live wrestle.
And then there are matches that, have you been traveling around to do those?
Yeah, usually Saturdays and Fridays to do the tournaments.
And where are you, so when you go to these tournaments, are you able to wrestle other girls, or are these also guys?
Well, in Goodland I wrestled girls because they were close to my weight class, and Sydney had to wrestle guys.
So just depends. But this is a
Yeah.
growing sport. Why do you think there is an interest among young women to start wrestling?
Well, I think we just believe we can.
That's a good message. Do you ever worry about, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that this is new and thinking, oh, well, girls are too timid, or maybe you're not powerful enough. What do you say to those people?
Well, when Sydney gets on the mat, the guys usually look at her like, because she's in a higher weight class than me, and like sometimes she slams them on the ground, so that defeats their cockiness.
So that would with anybody, I'm sure. So the girls can do it. It takes practice. Do you foresee doing this throughout your high school career?
Yeah, I plan on doing it all 4 years.
And we were talking about that eventually, hopefully, there will be a sanctioned, this will become sanctioned at the state level, but did you not wrestle in an unofficial state tournament?
Yes, that was in McPherson.
And that, as I understand, the McPherson coach is really a proponent of girls wrestling.
Yes.
Super. What was that like? Was that in front of a pretty big audience?
It was a very big audience, and it was very fun. I liked it.
When you practice and work out, is it something that you have to think about the entire time, or do you like any other sport, you could just kind of focus and do your thing?
Well, we just wrestle.
You're just wrestling, so
Yeah.
you kind of clear your mind and just think about the athleticism of it.
Yeah.
What do you think about maybe the person you're wrestling? If it's a guy, do you think it intimidates or worries the guys that they're wrestling young women?
Some of them are actually kind of worried. Like when, I wrestled my friend Dalton. Like when he first wrestled me, it was awkward because I'm a girl, and he didn't try as hard. But then we became friends, you know, and he would slay me around.
Which sounds kind of weird, but he treated you as a fellow athlete, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Are there any, when we think about women, of course, a little bit more endowed in the chest area than the guys are. Is that a concern? Do the guys have to not touch you there, or how does that work? I'm sure people wonder.
Just gotta get an awesome bra, okay?
A good sports bra helps a lot, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, good to know. Now we know. Excellent to know. And your family, you said your mom is behind you. Is she able to see you wrestle? Is she out there cheering for you?
Yeah, she cheers. She goes to my home meets and my friends videotape so she can see.
Very good. What else do you do besides wrestle at Trigo Community High School?
I do track and clubs. But
what other clubs are you in?
I'm in Stuco, it's Student Council, and Forensics and KOI.
You're a busy woman. What do you like the best?
I like Stuco, Student Council.
A lot of good leadership qualities there.
Yes.
Do you think those leadership qualities and attitudes have something to do with your ability to wrestle guys?
Yeah, a little, I guess.
Does that help you think that you've earned the right to be there?
I was actually a little shy to do wrestling. Everyone was like, "Oh, hi Jessica." I'm like, "Hi."
Has it boosted your self-confidence?
Yeah, a lot.
That's great to hear. Well, Jessica, thank you for telling us about your career as a wrestler at Trigo Community High School. We're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to teammate Sydney Boyle and find out what she thinks about wrestling for the Eagles. We'll be right back.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
Welcome back to the Eagle Community TV Forum. I'm Becky Kaiser in for Gary Shorman. Speaking of Gary, if you have some ideas about some interviews you'd like to see on the forum, he would like to hear from you. You can email Gary at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Of course, you can check it out on Facebook, ECTV Forum on Facebook. And again, we want to thank our sponsor for the Eagle Community TV Forum, Hayes Medical Center and Eagle Communications. Joining us now, as promised, is teammate to Jessica Chapman, Sydney Boyle, who is also a freshman at Trigo Community High School, wrestling varsity for the Eagles as a freshman. That's a big accomplishment in and of itself. So what made you decide to get involved in wrestling, Sydney?
A few years ago, I went to a wrestling tournament to watch my stepbrother wrestle. And then after watching him wrestle for a little bit, just kind of loved the sport, and I decided to try it my 8th grade year.
And you decided you like it.
Yeah.
You know, some people, I think, at wrestling don't understand what a determined athlete you have to be. It's very athletic. You have to be in good shape. And there's also some thinking behind it. You have to have some good moves. Think step ahead.
Well, you have to be mentally tough, so that way you're not just gonna give up throughout the match. And then you don't really want to think about what you're gonna do, but you want to go out there and do it, if that makes sense.
I can see that drive in your eyes. So, does it bother you that you're wrestling guys?
Doesn't really bother me. Like, I'll do it if I need to, like if we have to for throughout wrestling, but really hope that we can get girls sanctioned.
And the girls, as we have talked about and learned, is becoming more popular, as we found out at the unofficial state tourney. A lot of people participating and watching.
Yeah, there was like 150 girls there wrestling throughout the weight classes.
And this was in McPherson, and again, I understand the McPherson coach there is really gung-ho on women's wrestling, girls wrestling, is really a big proponent.
Yeah.
When you practice, Sydney, and you're wrestling against the guys, and then of course you have to work out and be in good shape anyway, are you doing anything differently than they do, or are the workouts the same?
We do the same workouts as they do, and coaches don't expect anything less from us. They expect us just to work just as hard as the guys do.
And if you get a cauliflower ear, no tears allowed?
I haven't gotten cauliflower ear. I've just gotten multiple black eyes.
Oh my goodness, that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
You don't have any today though?
No, they've healed since wrestling.
You're in good
is
shape
done.
today.
Yeah.
So how does it feel a little bit awkward, or can you tell an opponent feels a little bit awkward, a guy wrestling a girl? What do you think?
I think it just kind of depends on like the wrestler. Because like some of them, they're like, okay, you have to treat them as any other athlete on the mat. And then there's others, it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt them. They're a girl, and like they might wrestle different, like use different moves, or they'll, like some of them will intentionally try to hurt them so that way they can like get the dominance, I guess.
Do you think people, the general public, is supportive of girls wrestling, or do you get some questions about what in the world are you thinking about?
I think now that it's more of like people are accepting it more. Like there's probably still more people. There's probably still some people. It's like, oh, girls shouldn't be out on the mat. It's a male sport, but
You're proving that it's not.
yeah,
Do you intend to wrestle through your high school career?
yeah, I tend to.
And what about after that? As I just found out from your coach, who's sitting over here behind us, that there are some Kansas colleges who offer wrestling scholarships to women.
Yeah, if could happen to get a scholarship, that would be really cool.
That would be very good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world.
What else do you do when you are not wrestling, Sydney?
In spring, in fall I do cross country, and then in spring I do track, and through the summer I do club softball.
So you're a well-rounded athlete, doing things year-round. What about your activities at clubs and your studies?
I'm in KAY, which is Kansas Association for Youth, FFA, FCCLA, and I do cheer.
Oh my God! So you're not a wrestling cheerleader, are you?
No.
What do you cheer for?
Well, next year I'll cheer for football and basketball games when.
So you're very involved. That's
Yeah.
great. And your family, how do they feel about you being a female wrestler?
At the beginning of the season, my dad was kind of like, I don't really know if I want you doing high school wrestling, but like my mom and my stepdad and my stepmom, they're all like, everybody's really supportive and hope that Keisha gets it sanctioned because they like enjoy wrestling and enjoy watching me wrestle. But now my dad is behind it too, and he's
Go home. That's wonderful. Well, we're so glad that we got to meet you, Sydney, and congratulations. Good luck in the rest of the season for you. Again, we've been talking with Sydney Boyle, and then also in the first part of our show, Jessika Chapman. They are wrestlers at Trigo Community High School, Varsity Eagles, some of the few girl wrestlers so far at the high school level in Kansas, but that's going to change. Thanks so much for joining us on the Eagle Community TV Forum. And again, we want to thank our sponsor, Hayes Medical Center, and of course, Eagle Communications. I'm Becky Kaiser.